Well, good afternoon. Dave Morris here in the Oklahoman's video studio, joined by this lady, Lyn Cramer. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing quite well. We're talking about Lyric Theater's latest production. It is Assassins, and it runs through February 26th, I believe.
That's correct, Sunday.
And you, I actually know you more of off-stage directing, choreographing, teaching, instructing, inspiring.
Oh,
But
let's hope so.
but you're on stage in this production.
I'm on stage. Michael asked me quite some time ago to play...
Michael Barron, the director?
Michael Barron, the director,
Okay.
to play Sara Jane Moore, who tried to off Gerald Ford in the lovely city of San Francisco back in hippie
How much
days.
did you know about her at the time?
Oh, I knew a lot about her, but
Yeah.
then I can't say I would have ever known a lot about her had the musical not come into my purview.
I guess that's what I'm getting.
Yeah.
It's like we all sort of know Hinckley and Moore and those who are
Sure.
roughly associated
Yeah.
with their president, and I guess we should set up Assassins. I'll let you set up
Oh,
Assassins.
okay. Assassins basically is the story of not all people who have tried to kill presidents, but a group of the more famous individuals who, for one reason or another, attempted the assassination of one of our illustrious presidents. Some were successful, many were not. Sara Jane Moore was one who was not. And what's unique about her, I think, is the fact that she and Squeaky Fromm, who was a girlfriend of mass murderer Charles Manson, who killed Sharon Tate, people might remember that if they're my age or a little older, both tried to kill Gerald Ford in a span of 4 days, which is really odd. Two women, the only women in the show, the only women who tried to kill the same president, and both were incredibly unsuccessful. But again, the show came into my purview because I'm a Sondheim fan. So once I went to see the show, then your interest is piqued, and I now know more about them. Of course, all of us as actors try to do our research so we know about the character we're playing, because obviously there's going to be changes by a composer, a lyricist, a book writer, about those changes.
And
there we
seeing
go.
you right there.
There we are.
So let's talk a little bit more about that. What sort of research would you go into to learn more about this character?
Well, I have read an entire book on Sara Jane Moore. It was just fascinating, and not all of the material in the musical is accurate. Obviously, dramatic license is taken because in this particular production, Sara Jane and Squeaky are comic relief.
How often do you get to say that? It just throughout your life,
Well,
how often have you said that?
to say I'm comic relief every day in my classes. No, I'm
Squeaky,
kidding.
for that matter.
The thing about it, it's very dark, it's very heavy, and it needs comic levity.
Okay,
and
well, that would make sense.
Yeah, and we offer that component. But it's actually, she was actually a really serious political activist of the time, and her attempt at killing Gerald Ford was thwarted by a civilian who batted her hand away, which caused the gun obviously to go off in the air and save Gerald Ford's life. But she had attempted it the day before, and her sights were off on her gun. It's a very interesting story and tedious to tell, but she was unsuccessful, as were most. Booth, Hinckley, and probably Lee Harvey Oswald are your three most famous assassins.
The most notorious of the
Yeah,
assassins.
absolutely, and ones that people have a little bit of knowledge of. But Hinckley was equally unsuccessful. I mean, he shot at the president 5 times and missed every time.
We laugh.
We laugh, but it's, and that actually is told with levity by the proprietor in the show. So there's moments, but it's dark humor, and that makes it a little edgier.
She's Lyn Cramer. She stars as Sara Jane Moore, one of the assassins in Assassins, or would-be assassin, in Assassins, which plays at Lyric Theater at the Plaza. It runs through February 26th. Can you shoot a gun? Like in real life, can Lyn
Well,
Cramer?
no, interesting that you asked. I'm a daughter of a big game hunter, and you think that I would have, but I never did. Now, first Saturday of rehearsal, Michael Barron took all of us to the gun range.
Really?
We were at H&H Gun Range, and we fired a similar gun to what our character would be shooting. Obviously, when you're talking about the 1800s and the early 1900s, you don't have guns like that anymore, unless they're in collections. But I shot a .38. Sara owned a .44, but I shot a .38. And political stance aside, we need to understand the exhilaration of what that feels like so that we can more accurately portray the characters. Because Sara shoots more than anyone in the show. Her gun is going off all the time, and she's played kind of like a bumbling idiot with a gun. And in her life, she actually was not. But in the course of the show, my gun constantly going off, and it's a comic moment, a comedic moment.
Sara, please control your gun.
Yes.
Sara, your gun, please.
It's completely like that. And so what's fascinating is that we all went in, and I think we were all of us were surprised at how we felt when we shot. I didn't see anyone back away. I saw people, every one of my cast members, try again, go for a different gun, try to get a different feeling. I want to try the rifle, the handgun. It was really interesting. I surprised myself.
That is another layer of research.
It's
right
another
there, right?
layer of research. And you have to know, because we use starter pistols in the show. One gentleman fires all the shots. So because you literally can't, with your stage space, point a gun and literally fire it. There's too many audience members. I would be fearful as an audience member if the barrel of the gun was coming at me and we were, warned that shooting blanks. It would still scare the life out of you.
Right.
So we point and we react when the gun goes off, but the gun is being shot up or down at the back of the stage by one individual who's playing a role in the show. He's called the proprietor.
All right, very
and he
good.
facilitates the action of the show.
All right, so this actually opened February 8th. We mentioned you still have
Yeah.
your opportunity through the 26th. How's it gone so far?
Well, we've had wonderful audiences and far larger than I had imagined, so we're very excited.
That's
and people
great.
need to get tickets. We do a Wednesday, Thursday show at 7:30, and then Friday and Saturday at 8, Saturday at 2, Sunday at 5, and they've got 2 weeks left to go.
2 weeks left to go. The show runs without an intermission.
Without an intermission.
And I have to ask you something you mentioned before.
Sure.
No applause. How does that work?
Well, the original show was done in a carnival atmosphere, and every scene, actors came on and exited the stage via each scene. Michael took this and turned it upside down and left every actor on stage for the entire 1 hour and 45 minutes. No one leaves stage,
Really?
ever. Yeah. And we focus on every story played by an alternate character. So our laser focus helps the audience focus. And it is played so that there is a direct segue between every scene. So applause, it's not convenient.
Just
we
wouldn't
never
work.
take a breath. We just go.
Huh.
And the first time the audience can applaud is when the show is completely over and we go to our first and only blackout.
It's always cool to
It's
see
just
how
cool.
things
It's
come
a
together
really
like
fascinating way to tell the story, and it's pretty yummy.
this.
We
Especially
really
when you
love
have
it.
a good collection of creative people.
Yeah,
and
we have
Michael
a-
Barron certainly knows what
Yeah.
he's doing.
It's an exceptional cast of people and representatives from UCO, OCU, and OU, which is pretty great.
Well, perfect segue. I know you from the OCU days.
Mm-hmm.
You spent about, 12 years
12
there?
years? Wow, 12 years. You're absolutely right.
And I mentioned teaching choreographing. You were in the theater dance area,
Yeah, I was
right?
in school. I was School of Dance at OCU, and there for a long time before I made the change to OU. And again, I'm in a musical theater division now, so
Okay.
it's a little different.
So what do you do now?
Well, I train actors for the Broadway stage. We train them as vocalists, as actors, and as dancers. And we have a lot of people working in the business. We have a lot of Broadway students. It's great.
We interviewed Kelly O'Hara when she came through
Yeah.
a few months ago, and she was mentioning your name, that it was good to catch
Aw.
back up with you.
That's
How
nice.
is it from your perspective,
Proud. I mean, come on.
whether it's Kelly or any student?
It's hard to explain the pride that you feel as an individual, just as a teacher watching your former student on stage. There's a pride that I can't begin to describe, but also what it does is it reinforces the educational process at OCU, at OU, regardless. It reinforces what we do, and it creates a network for our students so they are supported and taken care of no matter where they go, by other students, by former faculty, whatever that network is. It's just a nurturing environment, and that's one of the reasons our students are so successful, I think. Not to mention the really wonderful training they get at OU, because they get awfully good training at OU, if I do say so myself. They really, really do. But it's proud. You're just proud. You're so proud.
Well, good for you.
Yeah.
Congrats on all that. Now, when you
Thanks.
travel, do you still try to go see shows, various places?
Yeah, I make several trips to New York every year, and I see lots and lots and lots of shows. And almost every time I go, I get to see students in shows. For example, currently opening, or has opened or about to open, Miss Saigon, Sunset Boulevard. I've got students in both of those shows. And
Well, that makes it way more special.
it does. As a matter of fact, Barry Busby, who's in Sunset Boulevard, just sent me a picture standing next to Steven Spielberg because he came to see the show.
Cool.
And there's just wow factor. You know, there's that wow factor. It's great. And then as our student profile increases, it enables us then to bring big names to our campus. Warren Carlisle, who did Hello Dolly, did a residency for us less than 6 months ago. He's the choreographer on Hello Dolly with Bette Midler. And Susan Stroman will be gracing our campus May 3rd, 4th, and 5th of this year. So
Cool.
all of that is wonderful. And Kelly was instrumental, Kelly and Kristen Chenoweth were instrumental in my meeting the kinds of people I needed to meet to write the book that I wrote, which was Creating Musical Theater, which then in turn gives our students more opportunity and in turn gets the bigger name people here to see what we do. Everything for the student, everything to promote student education and betterment. If we can do it, we try to do it.
She's Lyn Cramer, a fascinating person to talk with, interview, and joke with, for that matter.
Yeah.
It is great to see you. Congrats on all the success,
Thank you.
both on the stage and off the stage, with all the training that you do.
Thanks.
We appreciate your time.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here and to promote such an incredibly good show. I hope people will come out and see it. It's really different. They should take a chance.
It is Assassins. It's playing at the Plaza Theater, Lyric Theater's production. Runs through February 26th. Big thanks to Michael Bratra, as always, for his help sitting off stage, if you will. For Paige, for producing. Lynn, thanks so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. My pleasure.